What's up guys, it's me, Kadar, and in this video we'll be taking a look at Magic the Gathering. Magic the Gathering was the trading card game that started it all, and in this video I'll be taking a look at its inception and early history. Remember that this video is the third part in a series in which I talk about trading card game history, so stay tuned for more content. And without further ado, let's jump right into the video.
The 20-sided dice is a powerful tool. Such a simple object could weave stories, bring people together, and most importantly, inspire. The 20-sided dice and the game it was from encouraged many avid gamers to innovate and create their own games. One such innovator was a mathematician named Richard Garfield. As a child, Garfield loved games and had heard of Dungeons and Dragons. The problem was, neither Garfield or his friends had a copy of Dungeons & Dragons, so he made his own version of the game based on what he had heard about the game. And Garfield made a game similar to Clue, with players moving across the dungeon to an end goal. Once Garfield finally got his hands on a copy of Dungeons & Dragons, he was surprised at the open-endedness of the game, but didn't like the terrible writing of the game. Dungeons & Dragons, and its infamous 20-sided die, inspired Garfield to create his own game ideas from it. One of these games was called 5 Magics, a game in which players draw magic from 5 geographical areas. In 1991, Garfield had a PhD in mathematics, and he had developed his game ideas and released Robo Rally, a game based on robots racing each other. Garfield was looking for somebody to publish his title, and his colleague Mike Davis suggested the recently formed Wizards of the Coast as a publisher. In the middle of 1991, Mike Davis, Garfield, and Wizards of the Coast's founder, Peter Atkinson, arranged to meet in Oregon. Atkinson liked Robo Rally, but he felt like the game was too risky to publish. Atkinson had told Garfield that he liked his ideas, but he was looking for a portable game that could be played during the frequent breaks in gaming conventions. Afterward, Garfield remained in Oregon to think about Atkinson's advice, and was inspired during a hike near Multnomah Falls to take his original 5 Magics role-playing game idea and apply it to collectible cards that were color-themed. Garfield felt like each player could make a personal, customizable deck using those collectible cards, and that each deck would feel like a unique, personal part of the player. Garfield set up another meeting with Atkinson in Seattle, and Atkinson immediately saw the expandability and potential of the game, and instantly agreed to publish it. Garfield then went to Pennsylvania and designed the core rules of Magic and the starter cards, and designed 150 cards in a few months. The gameplay of Magic the Gathering was focused on colors, and each card had its own color, similar to how spells in the 5 Magics corresponded to geographical locations of the game. Each color had its own theme, with red being fast and aggressive, blue being tactical and always 2 steps ahead of you, green being focused on giant creatures and big plays, white being focused on healing and support, and black being focused on death and power at any cost. These initial cards were tested by volunteers at the university Garfield worked at, and after 6 months, Garfield had refined Magic the Gathering into its first edition. Magic also had a narrative, and it focused on a place called Dominia, which contained an infinite multiverse of worlds called planes. Atkinson looked for artists for Magic and offered them shares in Wizards of the Coast as payment. Atkinson also looked to try to convince Wizards of the Coast to focus on Magic the Gathering instead of completing the cross-compatible Primal Order role-playing game rulebook. After the Primal Order was published, Wizards was sued by a company named Palladium for copyright infringement, and Wizards of the Coast suffered financial harm. Atkinson decided to create a separate company called Garfield Games to publish Magic the Gathering. Magic the Gathering was called Magic during playtesting, but the name could not be trademarked as it was too generic. Mana Clash was chosen to be the name used, but everybody involved in the game still called it Magic. Eventually, Magic the Gathering was chosen as the final name. In 1993, Atkinson and Garfield had prepared everything to premiere Magic at Gen Con in Milwaukee, but did not have funds for a production run to ship games into stores. Atkinson took a single box of Magic cards to the Origins Game Fair and hoped to get funding by demonstrating the game. Among his audience were representatives of War Games West, who manufactured historical tactics games. The representatives eventually brought the CEO of War Games West over, who was impressed by Magic and secured funding with Atkinson. Magic was released on August 5th, 1993, and Atkinson and his wife drove to Milwaukee to hype up Magic and get support for Gen Con. By the end of the convention, Garfield and Atkinson had sold out. Magic was an instant success, and Wizards of the Coast had not just yet created a new game, but a new genre.
And that's the history of Magic the Gathering. And next up in this series is the rise of Yu-Gi-Oh! Please leave a like on this video and subscribe for more content, as well as comment any other facets of trading card game history you would like to know down below. If you're interested in getting your hands on the next step in trading card games, the Gladiator trading card game, a link to the shop page will be in the description down below. Have a good day, and I'll see you in the next video.